What is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode number 3 of my No Man's Sky walkthrough. Now, let's see where we left off last. Okay, we got investigate the Space Anomaly. We got board the Space Anomaly. Base computer, and we just got the advanced mining laser, which... carbon nanotubes and a hermetic seal and some wiring looms, which we could actually maybe buy at this station. So let's check that out. Whoa. Let's see if we can make the hermetic seal and carbon nanotubes. And there we go. Nice. All right. So we got our advanced mining laser installed. That's gonna let us mine rocks we wouldn't have normally been able to mine. And now we're going to the Space Anomaly. Okay, now before we go in here, the Space Anomaly is basically a big space station where you can go on missions, you can get in groups with other players, you can do a number of different things at the Space Anomaly. Also, though, after this initial part where we're going there for the first time, we'll be able to summon the Space Anomaly into any system we are. So whenever we're in space, we could summon this thing in and head to the Space Anomaly. So this is something that is going to continue throughout the entire game. Okay, now normally if you have networking on, which I have turned off right now, this place will be loaded with other players, but I have networking turned off, you know, for the purposes of recording, and that's why it's this empty. But this big thing here, you can do these missions, which award you Quicksilver, which is another type of currency that you can spend over here to buy different things, but that's not something you should really concern yourself with it this early in the game. Right now, you just want to go where it's telling you to go. Which is over to this guy who we got a mysterious message in space from. So he's going to tell you a bunch of stuff. I'd say go through everything here. I'm skipping through it because I don't want to ruin any of the story for you, because it is good and you should read it. Alright, so for the first number of hours in the game, this guy, Nada, and this guy, Polo, they're very important. And you're going to have to come back and forth to them repeatedly. We're trying to figure out, you know, what's going on with Artemis. Okay, so there it gives you a little pop-up about what the Space Anomaly is. And we'll run through it real quick as well. So, What you can do in here, back here, is terminals for everything. You know, your Starship terminal, where you can buy different upgrades. Now, this is important stuff, and this is where nanites really play a big part in the game. Because, as you can see, these aren't super cheap to unlock. So you're going to want to unlock them in the order that you need them. Like, so, for example, the cadmium drive, the emerald drive, and the indium drive. These are going to allow you to get to different parts of space that you normally wouldn't be able to get to. So those would be good ones to get early on. We got the construction research station. Now this has more building parts than the one that you can build at your base. So this is another thing you're going to be visiting a lot throughout your playthrough to unlock all this stuff. And this takes salvage data to buy this stuff. And then you got exosuit guy here. Let's see, can we open a new slot in our suit? Wants 10,000. All right, fine. But so what you should know about these upgrades that you get up here at the space station in the Space Anomaly, these do not go away. Meaning, if I buy the hazmat gauntlet and install it and then uninstall it, I can reinstall it at a later time. So these are not the same as upgrade modules. So don't get it confused with the upgrade modules. We have 446. We're gonna need to get all these. The rocket boots would be useful as well. But I don't know that we need to get any of this stuff right now. So, got this guy here. Now he sells a lot of useful things. There's an advanced mining laser. If you didn't get it already, you could get it here. But same thing with all this stuff. All these upgrades are upgrades that you get to keep. So once you buy them, you can install them. And then if you don't like them or you want to uninstall them for upgrades, you can do that as well. A survey device would be useful, but I don't know if we need that just yet. And then, of course, you got your exocraft guy as well. So you'll be coming back and forth to the Space Anomaly a lot to talk to Nada and Polo because they're the ones who kind of progress the story of the game. And you got this guy up here, and he's like all about the portals. So this portal on the Space Anomaly is a good one and comes in really handy because anytime you're in space, you could always warp in the anomaly and use this portal to go to any of your bases or any of, there's featured bases from other players. There's all your bases, different space stations you hit. So, yeah, definitely useful. Now we got a fish face guy over here. Now these guys in the Space Anomaly, they don't always stay here. Sometimes the story, if you read what they're talking about, they leave, they disappear for a week, and then they show back up. But these guys mainly have to do with the story of the game. So, yeah, you want to talk to them. Okay, so it wants us to see Helios now. So you can see there's a little star icon, kind of shows you where to go. The Space Anomaly itself isn't that big, so after you run through it a couple times, you'll know your way around. Now this guy comes in handy. He will give you nanites in exchange for planets. So more planets you visit this guy, the more nanites you're going to get. He gave us 150. Also, what you could do with this guy, I don't know if it'll let us this early on in the game, but let's see. No, it won't. So we'll get into that later, but it does have another purpose. Alright, now it wants us to go to the technology people, which we already did, but I guess we'll do it just to finish out the mission. Alright, now do we want any of these yet? We have almost 600 nanites. I would go for... See, the thing is, we can buy some of this stuff, like that, which we just got. But, you know, we're going to have to make the things to install it. All right. All right, so let's look in the log. Let's go back to the Space Anomaly thing, and because we want to finish this out, you know. Let's see if what can we buy here. We only have 2 salvage data, so yeah, let's go with the metal wall. And the metal floor panel. Okay, now it wants me to go back and talk to Nada again. So these guys, Nada and Polo, are kind of going to lead you through the story of the game. He gives you more nanites. Okay, we have nothing new to give to Nada. And look at this. We got all kinds of stuff to do now. We got the Atlas Path. The Atlas Path is one of the main storylines in No Man's Sky. So it's something you're definitely going to want to do. So while you're doing that, and this is like I talked about in previous episodes, your log's going to fill up. Like, all right, so right now we got a new piece of tech, but we don't have the stuff to install it yet. So we also have this. It wants us to reach a black hole. And we have this. So if I have this one selected, what does it want me to do? Nada and Polo make contact with updates from their search select. Yeah, see? So nothing there to do right now. We did the Space Anomaly. So we're on the Atlas Path. So let's go do that. Let's go back to our ship. So there's the Space Anomaly early game. Later game, it's mainly about doing those missions over there. But in the early part of the game, it's about the vendors getting the blueprints for all the different stuff and talking to Nada and Polo. So Just keep that in mind. You will be coming back here often. Alright, so we need to go to we need to find a black hole. Again, I'm skipping through this really quick because I don't want to ruin the story for you guys. Especially if it's your first time playing through, but pay attention to all that stuff. Alright. Objective updated. Locate the long distance transmitter. Okay, see, so now we have a choice here. We could try to go for the black hole, or we could do this. I'm gonna just do this first. Scan, it says, for potential sites. And it found a Holo Terminus. Holo Terminuses are on a number of planets. And you'll see what they do in a second. So let's go check it out. These things are pretty cool. You'll find them on different planets. Take your time walking up them, though. It's easy to fall down. Okay, so now we're going to use this. Alright, so this is going to... Okay. Whoa. Okay. And there is Artemis. Now, without spoiling anything, he is he's a big part of the story. So the two main storylines are the Atlas Path and this. There's not too much you can mess up here, so just kind of go through it and pick whatever one you want. Okay. Pretty cool, huh? Alright, so now it wants us to do something else. See, it's completely up to you, though, on what we want to do next. Right now, we're working on this Alone Amidst the Stars. But we also have some tech to build, and stuff like that. So, we need to build a signal booster. We need a metal plating and a carbon nanotubes. Alright, so now it wants us to pick up the signal booster and go set it off somewhere else. May as well scan some of these animals while we're out here. Okay, so what it wants us to do is go to another planet, like that one, and do the signal booster again. Okay, and here's where it wanted us to go to drop the next signal booster. And now is it giving us another spot to go to? It is, so okay. So let's go to that other spot. See, but one thing I'm not doing, which you guys should be doing, is when you come to these planets to do these things, I mean, it's up to you, but you should be taking a little bit of time on each planet and, like, looking for salvage data or things like that. Alright, we don't have anything. Okay, and here we are at the third site, so we should just need to get out, drop the signal booster, and then we'll be good. Okay, so what you should be doing that I haven't really been doing, when you land on these planets, use the analysis visor and take a look around. Look for buried technology modules like that, and go and make sure you go get them. Also, it's not a bad idea to scan some stuff, because you do get units for that, and yeah, comes in handy. Okay, so signal booster. And you would probably want to go in this building, because these buildings sometimes have blueprints, nanites, things like that. So they're worth checking out for sure. Oh, that's a big one. And it's important to know that you're gonna get better scanners. So when you scan those animals and plants and rocks and stuff, the amount of units you're gonna get is gonna go up. So it's good to get in the habit early. Alright, incoming message from Artemis. I'm gonna skip through it. See, it now wants us to find another Holo Terminus. So we use our scanner. It found one. Let's go out to the Holo Terminus. Now this is a good example. I don't have enough tritium and I don't have any pyrite to keep my engines full. So as you're playing through, when you're running into a similar problem, like my pulse engines never stay full. That's the time where you say, okay, maybe I want to stop and I want to mine some tritium or pyrite. Because this is gonna happen, especially early on. Because even if you have a lot of money, you still gotta find space stations that sell stuff like tritium, pyrite, if you want to buy it. But lots of planets have that stuff. Oh, we got a tritium hypercluster as well. That's basically when you pop it open, it'll give you a certain amount of tritium. Alright, so remember what I said. As you're playing through this, you don't want to just be going quick through everything. You want to be looking around these planets because you're going to be going back to, the, like I said, to the Space Anomaly a lot. And when you go back there, you want to be buying new blueprints, like pretty much every time, so you can get stuff. So look, right here. There, we got a couple salvage data. So you want to be stocking up on those on every planet you go to. Because as Nada and Polo send you out to figure out what's going on with Artemis and that sort of stuff, it's going to have you go to planets, just like we just did. It had us go to 3 different planets and use the signal booster and then come back to this. So on those planets, you would do your exploring. So it's kind of like you're doing multiple things at once. That's awesome. Artemis. Again, definitely read all this stuff because it's really cool. Oh, and we got the Artemis translator. So when we get a microprocessor, we can install that. Okay, so what do we do now? If we go to our log, so for the Artemis storyline, we have the translator we need to install. The Atlas path, we have to go through a black hole. We did the Space Anomaly pretty much, but you can see it's updated now. And it wants us to go back there. So, ooh, look at that. A rolling animal. So, this right here is a good example of how the game is going to go. We have these primary missions. Now, it's completely up to you on what you feel like working on. Like if what you read, like the stuff I just skipped over with Artemis, is very interesting to you, you can keep going along that path right now. Or if you don't feel like doing that, you can do this. Switch it over to the Atlas path where you need to reach a black hole. Or we can go back to the Space Anomaly and give the news to Nada and Polo. And then our tech, as we get the blueprints and stuff, is going to show up here and tell us what we need to install it. So we may need to visit our base. So right now, maybe we're going to go back to the Space Anomaly. And then we could go back to our base and make some stuff. Because we're going to need to refine some things. We're going to need chromatic metal. We need to stop at a space station. See if we could buy some stuff. Okay, and here we are, back at the Space Anomaly. Now, this is the gameplay loop for a while. in No Man's Sky for actually a good amount of hours. You're going to go out, you're going to do things, and you're going to come back here and you're going to talk to these people. And they progress the story. And look, he gave me nanites. Now it wants me to talk to Paulo. Okay, now Paulo is very important because Paulo can give you coordinates to Atlas stations, which you need for the Atlas path, and black hole coordinates. We already should have the black hole coordinates because that's one of the missions we need to do. But you can come here anytime and ask him for coordinates, and then you just open your galaxy map, and there you have it. So, next we would, if we want to continue with this one, we need to, actually, this one, we need to install the Artemis translator, which we can't do now. So let's just start the Atlas path, because the Atlas path and the Artemis story are the two big storylines of the game, I would say. The two biggest. Alright, so we're going to open our galaxy map. Okay, navigational data is from Paulo, and he is showing us where a black hole is. Now, depending on your ship, you might not be able to jump there in one jump. So it might take a couple jumps. And here we go. First black hole. Okay. Now, here we have a freighter battle. Now, these you'll come across when you hit certain systems, and you have the option to help the freighter out, or you can just kind of not do anything. But if you help the freighter, the guy, the captain, will give you the freighter. So your first freighter in this game is free. Now, I don't know if this is a freighter we'll want, but if it's free, we may as well take it. Alright, here he comes. Says some stuff. Alright, so he's inviting me aboard his freighter. Now, the first freighter you get might not be a good one. Like, let's see what this one is. This is a B-class freighter. So the freighters, just like ships, go from C to S-class. S, of course, being the best, but S-class freighters are not something that you just come across easily, usually, unless you're super lucky. So, what I would suggest is taking the first freighter you have the chance to get. So, let's see if this guy offers me the freighter for free. Okay, so as you can see, if I want, I can take this freighter. And we're going to take it. We now own this freighter. We can build on it. As you can see there, tells you freighters have extra inventory storage. You can dock your ships here. You can have up to 6 ships. You can set off expeditions. You can build a fleet. We're not going to get into that just yet. And we can also build on the freighter. So, you know, it wants us to build a fleet management room. So, you know, it's just like the other building pieces. They're just a little bit different on the freighter. So, like, there's the fleet control room. And now we have a fleet control room. Now, once we hire ships to be part of our fleet, we could send them out on missions using that guy over there. So, yeah, you're going to want to get a freighter as soon as you can. And you can build however you want on it. But there we go. We got a freighter. So now let's look at our log. Inspect your fleet. You know, these are all suggestions of things you could do. So, like, if you want to go back to your base and see what's going on there. All right, actually, okay, so what I would suggest you do is put a portal on your freighter. What do we need? We need a couple metal plating. And a couple carbon nanotubes, I think. Oh no, we need 4 metal plating. Okay, so the way this works on a freighter is you don't need to power it. So this is very useful because now I can just warp back to my base if I want. Or when I build a better base, I can warp to that. So it's an important thing to have. So we got some other tech we can install like this, but we don't have enough condensed carbon. This, we don't have enough oxygen. And this, we need some more copper and microprocessors. So as you can see at this point in the game, we have a number of things we could be working on. And this is how it is going to go for a long time. Now, I didn't explore the planets really, but what you would do is when you go down to those planets and stuff, look for salvage data. So every time you go back to the Space Anomaly, you're getting new blueprints for things you need. And I would suggest the way you go about getting the blueprints is whatever's annoying you the most. Like, so say your sprint distance is really bothering you, it doesn't last long, or your jetpack isn't good. Upgrade those first. You know, so it's really up to you on what you want to upgrade first as far as your guy goes. But yeah, the game at this point, we're in the game now. This is not tutorial. This is the game. And the loop is basically, for this at this point, trying to figure out what's going on with Artemis and also following this Atlas Path mission, which seems to be gone right now. I don't know why, but I'm sure it'll come back. So those missions, they're going to send you to different planets and to do different stuff. But all the while, you're going to be getting more salvage data and finding stuff on planets. So you're going to get richer and that sort of thing. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you found it helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below and I will get back to you. And yeah, if this was helpful to you, please give it a thumbs up. If not, you can definitely do a thumbs down. And if you really like it, you can subscribe. And we will do another episode soon. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.